Hey guys, Lord here, back in with another action figure review, and as promised in my Anubis review from earlier today, check that out if you haven't already, would really appreciate it if you did. Now, we'll be taking a look at the Figura Obscura, Gods of Ancient Egypt 2-pack, Bastet, the goddess of fertility, amongst other things. Many other things. She's a jack of all trades, as you will. Or, in this case, a cat of all trades. This, of course, is brought to us by the fine folks over at Horsemen Studios. And since I don't know a whole heck of a lot about good old Bastet here, we're going to get right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all she has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with one of many pairs of alternate hands. She's got some alternate claw hands. These, of course, came on her in the package. And with all 2.0 style figures, you may want to heat the arms up before you pop these out. I didn't have to do that, but it was also like 80 freaking degrees where I'm at, and if you are a upstate New Yorker such as myself, that is a heat wave. So, I didn't have to heat up mine, but your results may vary. Hashtag don't break your toys. If that wasn't enough, she does come with claw hands without the nails. These are basic kind of human hands, because much like Anubis, she does have some options as far as you want to display her. That said, getting back to the claw hands, she does have a pair of open claw hands. Are these just regular human hands? I can't tell. Maybe they are. Interesting. But either way, she's got a pair of open hands there. She's got a pair of grip hands. The appropriate hinge for holding weapons, or in this case accessories, because she does not have weapons. Unfortunately, her claw hand she's currently rocking, she does not have the appropriate hinge for holding accessories and or weapons. And then she does have a pair of grip hands, human grip hands, with the inappropriate hinge for holding weapons, just like the one she's got on her. So, plenty of hands. If you can't find a pair of hands you want here, I don't know what to tell you, man. There's plenty of hands here. I would be willing to bet that she comes with the Hera Serpentspire hands pack, but I don't have that figure. That was one from Advent of Decay I did not pick up. That said, we will be busting out a figure from Advent of Decay later for size comparisons, but before we get into all of that, she does come with a pair of human feet. Black human feet. We'll say this one was very tight out of the box. I had to heat it to get it to move like this. And I'm very curious how easy it is to swap the feet and the ankle joints, because the ankle joints on these feet are pretty tight, all things considered. The ones on her aren't loose per se, but these are tighter. I wouldn't mind not having to deal with her falling over, but I guess I could just put the human feet on her and call it a day. But where's the fun in that? That said, she does come with an alternate head without the plug for the headdress. Unlike our friendly neighborhood god of the dead, Anubis, he did not have this option. So it's nice that they gave it to Bastet at least. That said, if you want her to look more like a statue, she does come with 2 statue heads. So there you go. At least I think that's the statue one. Yeah, this one has the fur on it. But you get one without the little plug on the back and one with the plug on the back. And they all have little earrings that are pierced into the ear. That said, she does come with this little artifact of Mufasa. Little lion's head there. And she also comes with the Journey album art from the 1980s Journey album that had Separate Ways on it. Separate Ways. That was the second name for the song. What's the name for the Worlds Apart? Separate Ways. There you go. But there you go. She comes with that. That's not exactly a joke, not 100% a joke. You could actually look that up. And then, like Anubis, she does come with not one, not two, but 3 cookie jars, which is fun. And of course, like the Anubis one, you can pop the little heads off there, pop them back together. Pretty tight fit, all things considered. And of course, again, that is a joke. You put organs in these. So there you go. She comes with that. She comes with this doohickey of Sekhmet. I'm not sure what the heck this is, but there you go. Kind of looks like a axe blade from the bottom there. And then she comes with this crazy looking instrument in case she wanted to join Josie and the Pussycats. I am probably ticking off some major history buffs right now, and I could really care less. I think it's funny. But there you go. She's got this crazy whatever this thing is. And of course she comes with an Easter basket. So she can hop along the bunny trail with Peter Cottontail. That said, cats don't hop, do they? They kind of trot, stroll, they prowl. Cats prowl, that's what they do. But it is hollow, so you can't put stuff in there. And last but not least, she does come with this statue of... Crap, I brain fart on her name. Selena Kyle's cat, Isis. Wow. I kind of botched the jokes in this one, not gonna lie, but you know, what do you expect for free? And then of course she does come with a booklet. You can find out more about all the artifacts she comes with, what they're actually called, and why I'm such a doofus. That said, moving her out of the way in true Figura Obscura fashion, we gotta look at the box. Gotta look at the box. With the incredible Nate Barch artwork on the front, as well as the back. And the spine. Is there something in here? There can't be anything else in there. She comes with so much crap. What else could there possibly be? That off. There it is. Front of the box. She was entombed. And the back. You can see some read up and whatnot. And then there's some stuff on the spine there and there. Again, no yay or nay to any future Figura Obscura releases. I know everyone thought we were going to get a couple characters from the Monkey King again, but I don't know. I think the Horsemen want to keep this line as diverse as they can so it feels fresh every time. It makes sense that they'd go back and do the other Ghosts of the Christmas Carol, because just to have Jacob Marley, that kind of sucks. Especially if you're a Christmas Carol buff like myself, but as far as like the Monkey King goes, you know, you're kind of good with just the Monkey King. I know the other characters are pretty cool, but same with the Gods of Egypt. I want more Gods of Egypt. Like I said in the Anubis review earlier, I want a Horus. Obviously, you could get a Ra out of that. Osiris. And speaking of which, Almighty Isis. We just talked about Selena Kyle's cat of the same name. What is it? Sekhmet, the other cat goddess. I don't know if it's a dude or a lady. And then you gotta have Set. Set's pretty bad mofo, and his wife Nephthys. Just to name a few, and Thoth, the crane. Not to be confused with the Karate Kid movie with the same name. But as far as Bastet goes, she is a brand new 2.0 body buck. I will say, Not without its shortcomings, but compared to the other 2.0 body bucks we've looked at on this channel, I think they made some improvements. I'm happy to say they made some improvements. So why don't we take her noggin off here, if I can, without making a mess. There we go. You can see that she does have the disc hinge neck, just like Anubis did. If I take this off, you can see it even better. And then she does have the pauldron ports on the back with the... Does she have the back adapter? Yeah, she's got the back adapter port. This kind of looks like a Lithia, but I don't think it is. She obviously did not come with an alternate neck, but she really didn't need it, because her little collar piece here kind of covers all that. Just popping her head back on. As far as her head goes, she gets a little bit better range than Anubis. She can rotate, has a little bit of attitude even, and you can hinge it forward probably a little bit more, because her pieces are obviously thinner because she's a lady. But she does have the nice headdress that plugs in the back of the head there. And all her heads have the little metal earrings, by the way. This one has them as well. As far as the shoulders go, they go up pretty... Wow. Holy crap. That's past 90. Way past 90. That's impressive. And that's with this thingy in the way. There's a little collar piece. You can rotate, of course. She's got a single elbow with rotation. And 2.0's never really had restrictions as far as articulation goes, at least not for me. But I do know some people want 4 Horsemen to integrate more articulation, but I think the thing with 4 Horsemen, at least that I like, is they can integrate more articulation without putting in a bunch of stupid joints you don't need. She does have the hinge swivel wrists, of course. I like to rock the cat claws, because I think that look is pretty bussin', if I do say so myself. She does have a diaphragm joint that goes back pretty far, forward pretty far, all things considered. It does rotate. It's pretty tight on the rotation too, I'm not gonna lie, but it is a little bobbly, like most 2.0s. And she does have some pretty good tilt out of that as well. I will say, she does have a waist cut, but it is kind of loose. I might have to hit that with a hairdryer and pinch it a little bit, tighten it up a little bit, but it is a little bit loose. Not like falling off loose, but it does snap on there. I think it could be tighter. And she's got this nice kind of mummy wrap torso going on. Again, kind of reminds me of a Lithia, but don't quote me on that. I don't know if it's the same or not. And as far as the legs go, she can kick out as far as her dress will allow. And I will say, mine feels like the wire is kind of split in one area right here. I'm not sure if I'll get that replaced or not, but definitely be careful with that if that happens to yours, because that's no fun. You don't want to jab yourself when you're messing with your pussycat lady. Instead, you can swing your legs forward and back. She does have a thigh cut, single jointed knee. She's a little bit past 90, I think. Does have a rotation below that. Pretty stiff though. And then she does have a swivel in the foot with the hinge and the rocker on her little paw feet. Yeah, that skirt piece is kind of whatever. I'm not a fan of the wires down in this area because you don't really need it. Like, this is supposed to be a dress, kind of, sorta. And, you know, Egyptian gods, they fight and stuff. Like, Bastet especially, she'll freaking throw down, man. But I'm totally okay with them taking the wire out of the skirt pieces. Maybe this type of stuff, the loincloth pieces, but the dresses that kind of wrap around like this, I'd rather they not have the wire, because it also gets in the way of the torso. especially like this one, it needs to stay down, and all that bulkiness up in her craw, for lack of a better term, gets in the way. That said, she does have the bendy tail, like Anubis, and it does move side to side, so you do get a little bit out of that. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it for Bastet. And I think I mentioned earlier in the Anubis review that I am quite the fan of Mummies Alive, so she does remind me a lot of Nefertina from that show. I could see somebody making a custom of that character out of this figure. That said, the Mummies Alive version of Bastet was pretty horrible. I'm not gonna lie. She was like pink with big old honking anime eyes. A very weird looking version of the character, but I do like this figure despite the shortcomings. It's not nearly as good as Anubis, if you ask me. I've just never been a fan of the 2.0 body style. I think this figure would have benefited from being on the 1.0 female body, because she is an Egyptian goddess. She likes to throw down in the pit, as it were. She is a bit of a fighter. That's why she's got the claw hands, so you can scratch your eyes out, tick her off, or tick somebody she likes off, or is protective over off. Whatever off. But yeah, man. Like the figure, not as strong as Anubis, but still strong in her own right. So with that being said, it's time now that we move right along, take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here's our friendly neighborhood fertility goddess, good old Bastet, alongside her fellow god of ancient Egypt, Anubis, the god of the dead, as well as an older 2.0 release from Mythic Legion's Advent of Decay, Jujuno the Crusher. I believe she is part of the Legion of Erathir, ex-House of the Noble Bear, and I gotta be honest with you guys, out of all of the Advent of Decay figures I have, old Jujuno the Crusher here is not holding up quite as good as some of her peers. She is quite loosey-goosey in some areas, so I'm very thankful that the Horsemen decided to tighten things up with a Bastet here. So, getting these two out of the way. You can bring in a much better figure from Advent of Decay, Brother Mandibulith, who has held up much better over time. He is not loosey-goosey like Jujuno the Crusher. And I know that's not her name. That's a joke. Said we also have the infamous 11 Spawn. And despite the fact that Bastet here has the kitty cat paw feet, she is still not seeing eye to eye with good old Al Simmons here. So, with that being said, it is time now that we move right along and wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and while I may not feel quite as strongly about good old Bastet here as I did about Anubis, mostly because, like most people in the Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, Figura, Obscura community, I'm not the biggest fan of the 2.0 body type. It's just never been my favorite body type from the Horsemen. I'm gonna tell you that if you're not a fan of that body type, this is definitely a step in the right direction, and you may find some things to like here. Now, granted, I might have to tweak the waist on mine, but other than that, she's not too loose, she's pretty easy to pose and stand up without too much effort. It's definitely a step in the right direction for the 2.0 body, and I look forward to seeing what the Horsemen have to offer in the future, utilizing some of these new parts. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later.